Hey guys, getting close to the end. Not many videos left. So we're going to two-way tables and probability. Two-way tables. All right, words are important today. So let's go through a couple of words you're going to have to know. A two-way table is a frequency table. That's an important word, and we'll get to that in a minute. That displays data that belong to two different categories at the same time. So each entry in the table is called a joint frequency. So like this is called, that number right there is called a joint frequency because it's about two different things. It's about freshmen and who attended. All right, this one down here is about sophomores who did not attend. That's why it's called a joint frequency. How many of them did it? And in two different categories. All right, the sums of the rows and columns are called the marginal frequencies. All right, so if I were to add up this row, the 25 and 44, and I got 69 right there, that is a marginal frequency. Out of these two, 112, that's marginal, 76, 105, all those are called marginal frequencies. Okay, and they're going to have you do that sum. All right, let's take an example here. In another survey similar to the one above, oops, it's not there. Give me 1 second. It's the same one we just looked at. So 106 juniors and 114 seniors respond. Of those, 42 juniors and 77 seniors plan on attending. Organize these results in a two-way table, then find and interpret the marginal frequencies. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We got juniors and seniors again. So I'm going to put those on the side, juniors and seniors. And then I'm going to put the people who are attending. I'm just going to put the word attend and then NA for not attending. All right, so I'm going to make a little two-way table here, draw a couple lines. And what the problem told me was that there were 106 total juniors. Remember, so that is a marginal frequency, which is over here. So 106 juniors altogether, and there were 114 seniors altogether. So I can mark those off. And then it also said that 42 juniors and 77 seniors plan on attending. So 42 juniors will attend, 77 seniors will attend, which gives me this number down here for 119. Also tells me that 64 juniors will not attend and 37 seniors will not attend, which gives me 101 down here. So let's notice a couple things. First of all, if I add these two numbers right here, I would get 220. And also if I added those two numbers right there, I'll get 220, which is the total number of juniors and seniors. So if you add the marginal frequencies, you will always get the same number. All right, a few more words here. And again, the words are important. Relative and conditional relative frequencies. Joint relative frequency is a ratio. So it's going to be a decimal that is not in the total row, total column, to the total number of values or observations. So we're going to actually make those a decimal or a percentage. A marginal relative frequency is the sum of the joint ones. Remember, the marginal is when we add up the columns and add up the rows. A conditional relative frequency is the ratio of a joint to the marginal. You can find a conditional relative frequency using a row total or column total of a two-way table. Now, those words are kind of weird. There's a bunch, 3 words that are kind of a lot. But we've already done joint frequency. So when you see the word relative, that means it's a decimal. We've already done marginal. That's the total of a row or column. Relative means it's a decimal. And the conditional is something I will show you here on the next couple slides. All right, this one says use the survey results in example 1, the table we made earlier, to make a two-way table that shows a joint and relative frequencies. And to be honest, I did it on here just to save time. But this right here, this first table right here, is the one we made a second ago. And all you do to make a marginal or joint or marginal relative frequencies is we're going to take each number inside that table and also outside the table, and we're just going to divide it by how many people were totally there, which was the 220 right there. Okay, so I take each number, divide it by 220, and these are called relative frequencies. Okay, that's relative. These are marginal relative. Inside those are joint relative. Inside these are marginal. Those at the columns, those are called marginal relatives. Frequencies. Okay, so it's just taking what we already had and write them as a decimal. And what that's going to do for us, it gives us a great way to find probability of something happening. Okay, so let's go look at one more thing here. All right, a satellite TV provider surveys customers in 3 cities. The survey asks whether they would recommend the TV provider to a friend. The results given as joint relative frequencies are shown in a two-way table. So somebody's already done the work for us, already done the division, got the decimals. So now we can just answer questions. All right, and watch how we work out this math here. The part A says, what is the probability that a randomly selected customer who is located in Glendale will recommend the provider? Okay, so Glendale, first of all, so the way we're going to write that in part A is I'm going to say, okay, the probability that somebody said yes, and given that they live in Glendale. Okay, that's important, given that they're in Glendale. So the way we do that is we do probability of yes and Glendale. That goes on the top. And the bottom is just probability that they live in Glendale, like all the total people in Glendale. So if I look at yes in Glendale, it's a 0.29. If I look at just the Glendale people, if I add up the Glendale people, I'm looking at 0.34 down there at the end of that column. So I'm gonna put 0.29 over 0.34, divide that out, I'm getting 0.853. So that is the chance that somebody who lives in England, now it's like given, they got to be located in Glendale, and they said yes. So we take the total of Glendale people, how many said yes? Okay, let's look at part B. Part B says, what is the probability that a randomly selected customer who will not recommend the provider is located in Long Beach? Okay, so we're going to write that like this. Probability of Long Beach, I'm going to put LB, and they said no. All right, so again, do the same way. I'm going to do probability of no and Long Beach and over everyone who said no. Okay, because the first part's what goes on the bottom. Was there probably the randomly selected customer who will not recommend? Okay, so you're already saying that, okay, they're not going to. So if I look at the no and Long Beach, no and Long Beach is 0.04, so I'm going to go 0.04. Then I got to say all the people who said no. So I'm going to add 0.05 to 0.03 to 0.04, and that's going to be 0.8. I think that's going to be like 0.12. So if I divide that right there, I'm getting 0.333. It's going to repeat, but that's good enough for a ratio right there. Okay, so again, the way this works is, given that they said no, what's the chances they also live in Long Beach and said no? Okay, I hope it's not too confusing. Let's try one more. Let's try part C and we're done. Part C says, just determine whether recommending the provider to a friend and living in Long Beach are independent. So if they're independent, that means one doesn't affect the other. Okay, so let's do this first. What's the probability that they live in Long Beach? Long Beach, the probability, how many people live in Long Beach? That'd be 0.36. Okay, so what is the probability that they live in Long Beach and said yes? All right, so I would do probability of yes and Long Beach over probability that they just said yes. And so if I do that, yes and Long Beach is right. I need to change colors up here. It's 0.32, so I'm going 0.32. Probably they said yes. How many people said yes altogether? That's adding up 0.29 and 0.27 and 0.32. That's all the yeses. I'm trying to do that in my head real quick. I think it's 0.56. It's going to be 0.88. So if I divide that, I also get 0.36. So because I got the same thing, that means one did not affect the other, which means it's definitely independent. All right. That's quite a bit in that video. I hope that makes some sense to you guys. We'll just sit down and work them out in class tomorrow like we've been doing, and have fun with it. See you tomorrow.